All right, now we're going to take a walk through a village, and we're going to walk through Mont Saint Vincent. It's a village in southern Burgundy. I'll show you a map in a minute. It's in the Saône-et-Loire department. It has a church, an observation tower, and it's off the D980 road coming from Cluny. Okay, so back to our map of France. Here we are, Burgundy again. Paris is here. Now we're talking about the Saône-et-Loire department. And Mont Saint Vincent is pretty much in the center. Here we have our map. This is another map. There we are, Mont Saint Vincent. This is where it is. You have the TGV line that I was talking about before. You have Le Creusot here. This is Le Creusot where there's a TGV stop. And Mâcon is another TGV stop. And this is the A6 autoroute. There's exits north, south of Chalon. There's one in Tournou, north and south of Mâcon. So you have it's a good exit. This is the Saône-et-Loire department. You have Nièvre. Remember that was another department of Burgundy, and you have Côte d'Or. So I like this. I really like this sign, the Mont Saint Vincent, name of the village. This is the altitude, 610 meters. It's about 1,800 feet. You have the panorama, and you have the église. Église is a church. So this is it here, table d'orientation. That's it. That's a little tower. You go up, you walk up. And when you get up to the top, it has a map. So Mont Saint Vincent, it shows you here. It's where it is, and you can see this is all the things you can see. It says Mont Saint Vincent, and that's that's the view. It's actually 360, so you can get around, but that's part of the view. It's beautiful, very typical. You have farmhouses here, farmhouses here. You have farm fields here, growing something. You have forest. Burgundy has lots of forest, and in the distance you have kind of the hills. Not really, can't say mountains, but they're hills, and you have this area here. So it's very typical of Burgundy. Back to the sign, because now we're going to go the other way, and we're going to go see the church. Before we do the church, we have to walk to the church. So we take Rue de la Chapelle, Chapel Street. Past the gendarmerie, of course. That's the police. And this is actually a museum. This is a museum, and it's an archaeological museum, and it has artifacts from prehistoric times up until the Middle Ages. And if you look here, that's that. It's a grenier à sel. Sel is salt. Grenier is storeroom. So it was a salt storeroom. And it's the Musée Jean Grenier. Now, this is a church. Typical village. So what do all villages have? They have a church. And if you notice there's something missing here, it's the bell tower. It collapsed in the late 1700s. And if you can notice here, the church is surrounded by its cemetery. This is unique here in that you have this archway you go underneath. That's fairly unique. And here you go. You have above what used to be the main entrance. It no longer is, because you can see here that they've walled it in. You have Jesus. This is Jesus. And here are some of the capitals. You have a capital here and one here. You have somebody, they're holding up something. I'm not too sure. And you have some other here. So now here's the back of the church. Again, you have the cemetery is here. You have the cemetery surrounded by this is the church again, and if you notice this, These are the buttresses. This church is the Romanesque church. It was built in the 11th or 12th century. It was built between 1080 and 1120. And this is because it was at a time, this was before Gothic, before you had the flying buttresses. This is what was used to support the church. And you notice the windows are pretty small because they didn't really have the ability to have large windows. They needed to hold up the roof and everything.